Man, Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. So today we're going to talk about STREAMYARD drop. Basically, what I'm dropping to you guys, which is like breadcrumbs, and I'm not going to say too much about what's going on. I just hope to proceed with something by next month. By the first should be somewhere, but definitely on the first, be in somewhere else. I never lied about that. So let's get in from the beginning. The numbers don't lie, and I'm shouting it to the rooftop. My page is getting thousands of daily eyeballs now that Google Ads is locked in. Organic traffic, paid ads, and now the show is exploding. People are finding me, staying, and telling me that the episodes are literally saving their lives. And let me be 100% real with you right now. Talking to you every single episode is my therapy. That's my therapy. To get to know somebody and to talk to them about excuse me. To get to know somebody and draw a finishing perspective on who they are and what they represent. Um, how I want to go down being remembered. I want to go down as being remembered as someone who wanted to know their story. Now, I did some digging on Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla, and Nikola Tesla worked for Edison. And Edison said, if you fix, it was DC and AC, I think. If you fix my AC, which is an electrical current, a type of electrical current, then he would give him like $50,000. Nikola Tesla was like, he did it. And what happened was that Thomas Edison laughed at him and said he was just joking. And Nikola Tesla quit on the spot. Now let's recap. Thomas Edison has over up to 3,000 inventions. Nikola Tesla has 300 and has been acknowledged by the company Tesla. All the blueprints that Tesla went crazy and acknowledged that he wouldn't stay in hotel rooms that didn't have the number 3 or didn't have the number 3 or had the number 3. He said he didn't want to stay in hotel rooms based on the numbers. But the point is that Nikola Tesla made Tesla. What are the odds of that? And that's a brink of some of the stuff I tell my people when I'm interviewing or doing my documentary. You know, every single episode is therapeutic for me. Hearing veterans, active duty, civil. What am I going to say today? I just can't wait to say. I already said it. Talking with you every single episode is my therapy. Hearing veterans, active duty civilians, people from every walk of life open up and heal in real time. Healing veterans and active duty civilians, people, that is going to be my goal, to draw in um, active duty members. That's what keeps me going. That's what pulls me out of the dark on the days PTSD tries to win. That's true. Um, I'm keeping up. I'm keeping it forever. You know, I want to keep this show forever. Shout out to every single person wearing or whoever wore the uniform. From the newest E1 stepping off the bus to the 4-star generals carrying the weight of the world. I see you, I salute you, and I love you. Thank you for telling people like me happy Thanksgiving. That lets me know that you guys, I was on you guys' mind. Whether you knew who I was or not, I was one of the few people that was able to have. I had a happy Thanksgiving. I mean, I was alone, but still, I'm like, when it happens, it happens. I'm not in no hurry. So Thanksgiving was, Thanksgiving, a day with a labeled day. That and the next day was another labeled day that everybody goes out and spends money. So I mean, you accept it. I'll accept it as another day. Nothing special happened other than money being exchanged, mostly from the consumer the next day. And then prior to that, a week prior to that, you spent more money buying the turkey if you had a big family get together, or putting in money for the turkey. You gave me my voice back. Now listen close. This is a winning veteran relocation strategy. I am executing right now, no location drops, just facts. Where I'm going, which is hot, it's going to be VA SSVF already activated emergency funding locked for travel. This is what they have that for. I did extensive research on it. Extensive, and I know what they can do and what they cannot do. So I will try to get a hold of either I don't know. I don't know, but I will try to contact SSVF where I'm going so that I can take care of the rest. I just need them to meet me halfway. I can take care of the rest. It's just me moving, you know, not much is going with me. Some of this crap can go in a car if push come to shove. That's how little it is, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, beneficiary travel pay. If y'all don't know, veterans, there are beneficiary travel pay that you can get into, and you can start doing binding contract payment structure so nothing goes or gets held. Payment structure so nothing gets held. So if you move, you can go for travel pay if you have all your receipts. Immediate threats. Cut off blocked, reported, and left in the rear view. New chapter, new energy, new protection. I'm moving with military precision, veterans benefits as my armor, and God as my GPS, or the North Star, should I say. But God is the GPS of the North Star. God or beyond God. However, the past stays in the past. The future is mine. Who's coming with me and to the next level? Drop a sign if you feel the energy. Drop another sign if you're ready to heal aloud with me, the Kimberly Cloud Show. Season 6 is going to be most likely majority a paid season, which means that I have to weed out the ones that I'm willing to help them, free or not free, but I have to weed out the ones that just want a free show, just want something free. Everybody wants something free. You are more than welcome to something free, but entertain what I have also to offer. The movement, it may have been a week, but if I really wanted to do a show this week, I would it would have hands down been a show done. But I'm giving myself time, and now it's ramping back up to do another show. If it was paid, it would be done by now. In the past, it would have been done yesterday. So I look forward to interviewing people. I look forward to learning about them. This is a business that I grew 5 years in the making. You know, I just want to make people feel good about giving their money to me and knowing that it's going to somewhere good. Satisfaction is as close as I can get to how I feel. When you exchange money with me, you will feel satisfied that you did. Because then I will have to level up and literally listen to everything that you're saying, making you in the spotlight look good like a Channel 9 news or like a news company. That's all I want to do. There's no punchline. When you look good, I look good. That's the punchline. When you look good, I look good. Then we look good. Then the whole show look good. If you don't look good because you resist, I don't look good. And therefore the show looks bad. And so why would I want my show to look bad? I have to step up to the plate and please the consumer. So that is what I'm looking forward to doing. I already got one consumer and many more are to come. It's just, it takes time based on how I talk in my algorithms. I'm crafting my style and I'm learning how to talk about things that are more so relevant than not relevant. Anything that goes on from here on out, I'm just going to maneuver around it. I'm not going to resist and try to understand it. I'm just going to go around it and keep moving yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Try me this time. I double dog dare you. It's not going to work. If I start to act any different, that is the only way these suckers get to me. And my documentary goes like this to all my newcomers. Something happened between the time I left my can of Red Bull in my house, and I was almost attacked by an African guy. Immigrant, should I say African immigrant. I had to save myself by getting a knife, and therefore I looked like the bad person because I was the one carrying a knife, a weapon, which I did nothing with, and I still carry for protection. Not to hurt someone, but for protection. Isn't that fair enough to say, if you need protection, you would buy a small pocket knife. If you need protection, you would buy some mace. If you need protection, you would buy a gun. I don't want a gun. If somebody's stupid to shoot someone like me without a weapon in my hands, then that shows they deserve to be locked up, not even for life terms, or death, because it's reckless. Fair enough, right? Fair enough to say that, that these criminals get away with murder. They invade your privacy. Cybersecurity was talking about how people are using spoof links to make it seem like it's a real link, and you could be going on putting and it got me a couple times because so many people put viruses on after, I probably had a little bit of viruses on my computer, but nothing like I've had since I've been at, for the third semester, UMGC. My computer completely acts weird and wonky ever since that happened. I'm not lying. It happened. My computer crashed and said I couldn't get to Google when I predicted I was, for the future, going to Google on camera, which means whoever saw me blocked me from Google, because I was able to get on using another browser. I got my proof and my timestamps. I have to go, that lets me know whether I lose or win, I'm winning, because that lets me know that you have to get a host. You have to have a host of people to agree with with one, because more than 3 people is like an organization. So this organization gets together, and then they go against me. It must be something about me that makes people lie. And as long as it's about getting at me, they're good. They'll lie. They don't need a teardrop to lie. They don't even need a certificate to lie. They'll do it all because that's getting back at me. That's what happened with my college. So I'm quietly moving to another college. I'm not taking that, because I've been in school 20 years, 20 plus years. I should have 2 doctorates. I have a master's, trying to get another master's, and I'm not going to let no one hinder me from my second master's. I know, I understand I have to work, but don't discriminate and unethically work me because you want that power. This isn't the 1700s. I'm not a Hebrew slave. Hebrew slaves meaning way back in the day, but I'm not a slave. And let me explain that so you can get a grasp of what I'm saying. So October, between or about October the 1st, before October the 1st class started, I reached out to the teacher. He had no problem with seeing me. He said, as long as you're learning, then you're good. He had somebody else's work that was done incorrectly, he said, but he showed me a page of Excel briefly. And he said, as long as I'm learning, I will pass. A week later, briefly, we tried to communicate, yet he had surgery. Supposedly. I'm not there. I don't know it. No one's there. He's not giving nobody a doctor's note. Who knows if he's lying? He could be walking to the money like he Mike Jack. You know, who knows? So didn't see me. And then just completely started ignoring me. You are not going to allow my juju to turn sour for every person that is Caucasian. I still wish that we could communicate, but obviously that's not in the cards. You gave me the bare minimum and I gave you the bare minimum review. If there was a bare minimum below that, I would have gave you below that. So you all can boost each other up all you want to make each other feel good about what you are doing to me, which is totally wrong. But I'm quietly leaving. Whoever, it takes 6 months to infiltrate. It took them 6 months. And let me explain that. Between the VA healthcare system, let me just not even go towards that. The government, the bad part of the government. It took them 6 months to infiltrate and start this process of trying to verbally discredit me. That's exactly what's going on. People want to discredit me. They're mad because I tell the truth and their secrets are coming out. And they can't look each other in the mirror. They can't look at each other in the mirror. Some people can't. How can people look at each other themselves in the mirror after putting on a lying standing ovation performance? A believable to society versus someone who's been lied on her entire life, trying to credit her history by telling the truth. Only God will understand, and beyond that will understand the stuff that I've been through. And let me explain that. I won't go any deeper, but I left some breadcrumbs for the things that has happened to me. If I tell you XYZ happened, XYZ ABC dash XYZ happened, I have no reason to lie. This is my documentary. This is what I do. I tell about my past, present, and future. That's all I know. I've been doing this for 5 years, and it's even fun when you're with somebody. I'm not saying what class or school I'm getting into right now. I hope you understand, and I hope that helps. But I cannot afford for somebody to uh uh have y'all heard of, oh, what is it? Not con artist, a mole. A mole. Y'all heard of moles, right? You don't believe moles affect your life on a daily basis? There are moles that won't stop in a mole organization that won't stop until they discredit me. But it shows, because in my classroom, I was the only outlier. It shows. I'm not just hollering discrimination. It is what it is. Discrimination. So I don't get why I was being mistreated, or why I am being mistreated and within the school. And then, the same thing with where I'm staying. It's a pattern. It's a pattern that lets me know, hey, look, I don't deserve this, nor am I going to tolerate the BS. I'll just withdraw and leave quietly. I didn't deserve, I didn't deserve to be mistreated, whether in the apartment building or with my teacher. The bare minimum. You guys, I have a story, man. And that's why, I'm so glad. Hi, Trump. So Trump is tired of this shit. So he's calling for Idaho and Washington State to hand over their technology, their AI technology. Because like I said prior, whatever technology they have here is controlling. It's no way that they hate me that much. So turn it over to the feds, because obviously your bureaucratic state is abusing it. And this goes just strictly for Washington State. I'm not in Idaho. I heard good things about Idaho. Good things. But it just looks like Washington is trying to hop on the Idaho bandwagon. Like, why all of a sudden Washington get along with Idaho? Washingtonians and Idahoans don't get along. So why now is governor and governor trying to get along, or being muscled into trying to get along? Because it wasn't much being said about how Idaho felt. It was more so what Washington felt. Why is Washington trying to work with Idaho all of a sudden? Stay away. Didn't y'all do enough damage to me? And I'm not talking to the mayor of Seattle. I'm talking about like the governor. Like, they got really, really cocky, y'all. They sat up there, and as soon as I got off of probation, not even 3 days later, see, they played me. Let me tell you how it happened. I had Xfinity, and all of a sudden, in my almost 2 years of staying here, there's a Verizon truck downstairs, and they would not leave me alone. And I did not want to be mean, but if I had to do it again, I would have been mean and showed her my true colors, which was, get out of my face. I don't want your service. Because come to find out, the service sucked. And then they charged me, and then I couldn't download. So then I tried to switch to Ziply Fiber. Somebody intercepted that. The first thing the African guy said was he got to go by the rental office first. Why is that such a necessity? Then the rental office said that they would escort someone up to me like I'm a child. Since that didn't help, since that didn't work, while I'm on whatever substance that they gave to me, whoever did what they did to me, I can't pinpoint who, they actually had a nerve to say they would escort somebody the next time somebody come up, like they're security. You don't work for Secret Service. You get paid to do a job, which is listen to me, tell you that this guy tried to attack me. But you gaslighted me. All because I have mental health issues. Why would I've had over 20 plus people in here, from nurses to friends. I've never pulled out a knife on no one. So they got a little cocky. They intercepted my zip leaf fiber. He did not complete the job. He did not do nothing. He just lunged at me. But it's okay. I'm quietly leaving. I don't have to take nothing. I don't care if I end up homeless. I'm not taking this. When keeping it real goes wrong, I guess I'll be wrong this time. Because you're not going to disrespect me and expect me not to sit up there and speak up for myself. I went down there vulnerable, telling you guys what I was going through. And all immigrants, all y'all did was sit up there and treat me like shit. I don't treat y'all like shit. I treat the ones that deserve to be treated like shit, that's repeat offenders. But obviously, y'all fit that perspective of functional working adult, a functional immigrant working, someone who commits crimes on the side of your job. Because what you did was a crime. You sat up there and you called a welfare check on me. You took the knife out of my pocket and dropped it so it would be shown on camera. I de-escalated the situation. Why did I have to come up there with you guys when I sat up there and could have been up in my apartment waiting for him to come? Why is it on camera that I had to come upstairs with you guys? Why did he have to wait around? Why did he say it would take all day and 5 minutes later it was done? What was he doing when he was leaving out? Why did I get so paranoid to go through his things and he's jiggling my door? That's what attempt me to get the knife. What cable guy does that? You have no right to jiggle my door because I locked it looking, your whole credibility is shot. You know, there are ingredients out here that even a drug test wouldn't pick up on, y'all. There are ingredients out here that even a drug test won't even pick up on, that can cause immediate, it's African drugs, immediate schizophrenic, paranoid symptoms, and immediately all other symptoms. So if you're borderline mental health problems, but can control them, once given a drug like this, that's African drugs, it intensifies and elevates your paranoia. And then it causes you to get really anxiety, really bad anxiety, because that's exactly what happened when I ended up going to jail in April. I've never been in jail before except one other time because I had to force myself to go to jail. They didn't even want to arrest me in Baltimore. Let me tell you about that. My sister, I was in the military 6, 7 months pregnant. I always look bad on paper. 6, 7 months pregnant. I walked through the door. She started banging on my stomach and my head. 6, 7 months pregnant. My child ended up 2 pounds and 8 ounces because of her. So I ruined her. I didn't even know that I would have a child 2 pounds and 8 ounces. On the 28th, he was born on June 28th, 2 pounds and 8 ounces. I just noticed that. But she beat my butt. I never was an aggressor. So I ruined her house. and I left to go back to Fort Campbell. Years passed. They put out a warrant for me. I never knew. Years passed. They dismissed all the charges. The judge looked at it and said, no, these charges are frivolous. And he dismissed it. Another scenario, my neighbor was harassing me. I never been in jail with this scenario, but I came close to it. My neighbor was harassing me. I had the evidence in California. I had the paperwork in California. I had everything in California showing that he was harassing me. Camera footage. And she took their side because they were Hispanic and gave me a restraining order against them, something that I was trying to get against him. Because she was too messed up in the head, fraggle brain, to sit up there and have the balls to tell them what they did was wrong instead of not, because you're too scared that they're going to retaliate on you. So they give me the restraining order. It doesn't look good on paper once again. And this is why I tell my story. So yeah, it's just a terrible, terrible thing. It's a terrible thing, man. You know, I have every right to sit up there and tell my story. You know, I try to acknowledge where, you know what, I have the perfect question for me. Where was I in the wrong? I should have never moved there. There was a Hispanic man looking to break in my apartment. There were 10 officers outside my balcony while I was smoking a cigarette at 1 in the morning. I just so happened to wake up and want to go downstairs to smoke a cigarette. 10 officers outside. It's on camera. La Vista Apartments. They bought their body cam footage of a man trying to attack them with a blunt object, break the glass, runs off after he gets shot in the chest with a beanbag, and then they had to eliminate the threat. He broke into somebody else's house easily. She was in the bathroom. He had a blunt object. She was in the bathroom with her children. So I regret moving over there. The military moves me over there. They knew how bad it gets over there. There's nothing but Hispanics over there. That's where I saw my first spaceship. And everybody was going about their day. I'm sitting outside of my patio, and it's between daylight and nighttime. And it's just orbiting blue, white, red, green, yellow, orbiting. This isn't a plane. It's just right here orbiting from a distance. So I immediately attempt to reach out to the only hotline that allows people to ask, how did you see an alien? Was it a spaceship? Was it, how did you feel when you saw it? Was it, how did the spaceship look? How did the alien look? Was it a gray? Was it reptilian? The only online program for that. And then that's when the cartel tried to make me look crazy. They came at me with assault rifles. And I had to run inside and call the police. The only reason they didn't shoot up the house after running for U.S. Senate was because there was a child next door. I immediately called the police. I know what weapons sound like, and I know what I saw with my eyes. They hurried up. They was wearing black and white. Those are the cartel colors, in a hoopty Honda, bringing out assault long rifles. They coming towards my gate. I'm like, what the? My heart dropped. I said, flight or flight. So I called the police, and then they dropped it down the street somewhere. The police took 10 minutes to come around. So yeah, I have my reasons to not like immigrants. And then the coup de grace was being around one friend that flipped on me and lied and had a nerve to say, you have HIV now. To find out I don't. That's how much they hate me. They cut me off or go slow or purposely walk slow in front of me. It's right on camera, you know. Or they send somebody to annoy me and scope out to see if I'm a target, a easy target to steal a laptop, or, you know, make sure if I go into a bathroom, they send one of their friends in there to hurry up and look for a phone. That's sick. Y'all are sick in the head, in the membrane. If you think I'm about to look, you know, you can control this city all you want, but you no. These are my babies. You just want money and to destroy them for vindictive reasons. These are my babies. These are my lifelines. These are my babies. These are my lifelines. And you're not going to just take them for your own personal gain, whether mental or not. You already invade some of y'all children's privacy. Y'all invade everything. Everywhere I go, you try to play it off like you don't know me, and you know who I am. I'm the only person in the city with a wigs like the way I wear. Very easy to spot. I'm practically the only girl who wears wigs around here. What in the heck? Oh, I'm practically the only girl. And they make it known. They annoy me at every cost. Like if I'm pulling out, I'll just sit and wait for them. I'm telling you what I'm doing. I'm waiting for you to take off so I won't have to see your face. And yet you wait until I leave to take off. Or you pull in when I pull in, thinking I'm going to leave my book bag in a car. And I'm never leaving it in a car, even at a government place. That's, I know all of your tricks. And you want me deceased. And Cash Patel, I know for a fact that there's a reason why something happened to me today that has to do with the FBI for the best. I was even thinking, it ran across my mind. It ran across my mind. It ran across my mind what could happen if XYZ went down. And y'all are the only ones that know, y'all know what goes down with Kimberly Cloud. So I'm okay with that. Even if it was a sabotization, I'm still okay with that because nothing is going to stop me. Now I see why it was zero at first. You know, if I had to tell you guys the truth, how would you feel? How about I reword it like this? I want to invent something that be able to bend with like a mirror, an invisible sheath the chemicals in order to bend time and rewind time or fast forward time. Just think what an evil person would do with that. To be able to know 7 days like, okay, for example, if you don't believe that it happens, we can predict where a tornado or hurricane go. We can predict how hot it is, whether it's going to be, what category it's going to be 7 days in advance. China, Asians, they do their stuff 30 days in advance sometimes. I seen it with my own eyes. They said they had the whole list of 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, 7 days. I said, what am I watching? But just think if somebody was able to do that, be able to tell what can happen in the future. What would happen? How can they alter their future for the good and not the bad? So I think about those things all the time, you know. What if 3 to 5 days ago the FBI wrote me and they were sending me a message. 10, 10, 10. They work with Facebook, 10 different agencies from the CIA to the FBI kept popping up on my stream. Follow, follow, follow. And you know I'm going to do the shit. You know, I'm going to follow you because I guarantee I'm going to follow you. You know, I think what y'all doing is marvelous. You know? So yeah, I think everything 10 video feeds popped up, and then 3 days later, the knife incident happens. My records speak volumes. They couldn't exactly tell me what they wanted to, but they were telling me to be careful about something. And they keep using keywords like cybersecurity. And I know people broke into my computer. I've said it earlier. If it's not Jeff Bezos, I suggest you get off of my computer. If it's not Elon Musk, I suggest you get off of my computer. If it's not big tech, I suggest, or the moderators of before you go live, I suggest you get off my computer. Because if it gets confiscated, they're going to trace every IP address, even if you're bouncing it from one place to another. You swear you're not going to get caught. You swear. Every murder say that. I'm not going to get caught, bro. Let me murder some more. You know, like, you're going to get caught. Most of y'all on the most wanted list. It's sad, man. It's sad to know that we have so much crime here, you know. It's sad to know that people are desperate and willing to set people up like me to be hauled off to jail for what if I would have stabbed him? That's why the FBI showed their face, because for some reason I kept my composure. When he lunged at me, I would have had every right to stab him, but it would have been like the immigrants said, his word against mine. They didn't say his word against mine, but they basically said it's his word against mine. It's my word against 5 people, 5 immigrants. No one's American. It wasn't like that when I first got here. Prior to that, my last place, it was filled with immigrants. Prior to Salt Lake City, Utah, it was a one white woman, and the cleaning crew was Hispanic, which is predictable, but there was no sign of any staff that was Hispanic. I went there 5 times and saw the same woman. Then my garage started acting up, and people started standing by my garage while it was open. My brakes started to act funny. So I started complaining. Salt Lake City snows. That's why they call it Salt Lake City, because of the salt on the ground. And so yeah, I walked in there ready to complain, but it was a Hispanic immigrant. And I said, I said, someone is tampering with my garage. And what he did, he went like this, just like they did. That was my first verbal, non-altercating conversation, which was just shorter than a statement. I left the car, I left my stuff and took a big bag to the airport and said, fuck this place. They're still following me. Still don't believe me? A little child, 13 years old, while I was en route to go to the VA, started whacking off in the car. I turned around and started crying. I get to Seattle, a 5-year-old. I don't know if this is real children I'm looking at or seeing do these nasty things next to an adult. It's not the child fault if they are children. They could be undercover as aliens. But if they are children, then that is disgusting. It was one Hispanic male, 13, that did it, and one Caucasian 5-year-old, an adult male Caucasian, that we were in the train station. He was waiting on me to get off the train. I knew he was waiting on me to get off the train. So I took my chances, got off the train, turned around because I was wearing a book bag, and they're rubbing their areas, laughing. So I go to the corner and start breaking down and crying. That is something that you do not want to see. In the heart of Seattle, catching the train, downtown by Macy's. And I have my reasons. I have my reasons. That was the first time I ever seen someone that was white do that to me. That was the first time I ever seen someone that, and it was right next to the FBI building. And when I seen the way the FBI building looked downtown, I think that is the FBI building. I want to say that's the FBI building. When I seen how it looked just like the Men in Black. It has no real windows. It's gray. It it has one door, and I'm like, where you people go in at? Where you people go in at? There's no guards standing out there. They're that protected where they don't need no guards to protect their building. You know something is wrong. So I shouldn't have to always explain, but I to my newcomers, because I've been getting newcomers, this is who I am. I would like to share this journey with you guys. I would like for you to you know, take a journey with me and a leap of faith with me, that I will make sure what I talk about on here is not how I talk when I talk like outside of the box. How I talk on here is not how I talk when I'm interviewing you. I just want people to know who I am. So you can never say I had anything that wasn't or didn't need to be hidden for God's purposes of Him analyzing me for the future. Everybody puts on God's hat. Not everybody as in you out there, but everybody as in people who judge. They put on God hat when somebody tells them something. And since they have connections, they judge. However, people like Donald Trump, Nicki Minaj, Mike Johnson, who else? Mark Rubio, the real independents, the real Democrats, the real Republicans, they're different. They get up. All of y'all get up every day doing something. I'm inspired by that. Some days are better than others. It's getting better. I don't want to say how it's getting because then somebody's going to sit up there and try to fool that. So I have to be careful about what I say, you guys. But, some days are worse than others. I'll say that. I'll keep it negative. Some days are worse than others. And if you took a petri dish full of water and you yelled at it, let's say you just started yelling at it, like, I hate you so much right now. Ah, and meant it. You really, because the steam, the frequency that you're yelling at this water, this innocent water, which we're made up of 70% of water. And then you get another petri dish and it's water and you do nothing. You just toss that to the side. You keep as far as you can away from it. Now, when you go to analyze the petri dish that you say, I hate you so much right now. That petri dish is going to be altered. That petri dish is going to be altered. The petri dish that we didn't touch is not altered. It's normal water frequency. I done had so much negative stuff happen to me that it just comes as a second guess, second nature. Some people would love to jump on the bandwagon of my negativity, but I'm going to try to make it in tonight so I can get back to a better frequency within myself. And that's why I have to move. And that's why I have to go to another school. I don't like negativity. Had you did your job, I would have passed the class, or I am. However, it's a 50-50 shot. I would have passed the class and this would have been behind me and I would be working at my next semester. But you held up my grade. You probably, I'm mind reading, but I know I'm accurate. You probably told them that they got their grade. You just want to get me, and they jumped on the bandwagon. Like, so black murderers do when they just want to stripe or do it with for not for a stripe. They just do it for free because they just don't like someone. That's sick, man. That is sick. But that's allegedly. But their behavior says otherwise. If this was just about the grade, why complain on me? You got your grade. So why complain on me? Because you want to be vindictive. I got my video. I never threatened. I told the truth. I didn't say I know your address. I didn't say I know everything about you, but you know everything about me because allegedly I believe you broke into my computer. It's all related. It's all related. From the apartment to the school, If it was up to the courthouse, I wouldn't have got off of probation until December. I literally had to blackmail my way out of the probation because I started searching for other people that had the same charges that I know they let out early. I know that they gave good time served because it happened in Florida. As an example, Scarface. What did Scarface do? He used to kill and take out politicians for a green card. And that was in the 70s. Almost everything that has to do with Scarface, I study because that's exactly how they act. But did y'all not catch the end, or did you just not want to catch the end? He died. They could have easily made him go to prison. He did go to jail. He didn't learn. He didn't learn. That's the moral of the story. He got cocky and he didn't want to learn. He thought he was on top of the world. That's just an illusion. If you don't, when you have money, it could be an illusion or it can be real. Trump makes money real. Bad people is an illusion because of the way you're getting it. I shouldn't have to explain no more. It's just an illusion, y'all. Because eventually, whether your money is on the Cayman Islands or not, you will get caught. The FBI has so many ways to catch you. The heat is turning up on me with PA asking me for taxes and other places asking me for taxes. And I'm like, okay, fine. I pay my taxes. I make a payment plan. I don't care. But why take this long? Who is calling them? How are they now coming to me? Why now? I knew nothing about how to file for taxes. I knew nothing about nothing. I just wanted a business. That's all I knew. I didn't care that you have to pay a business tax. I didn't know about a business tax. Now I owe. Probably not that much, but whatever I owe, I'm going to pay it off because I don't want to owe in different states. That's like Fed time. That's more stuff that could land me in jail. And that I don't want to do. So most likely it's a state tax. So when I do start making finances above my means, which will happen, that will happen, whether certain people like it or not, it is going to happen. It's just a held up right now because of probably where I am. I start making money within 2 months of leaving, and then I get robbed. That's all I can sense y'all talk about is ways to rob me. Just sick, man. And half of the people that are the sick ones are saying they don't even care. That's why you deserve to be locked up or dead. Like those are your two options while Trump is president. Because anybody that works hard, such as these cybersecurity punks, not the real cybersecurity network, government born, but the dark web cybersecurity that goes in and steals information and they work hard at stealing other people's information so that they can get paid off of someone else. They know how to work, but they rather steal from somebody else. That is crazy to me. They work 9, 10 hours almost, if not more, targeting people here in Seattle, sending fake emails about toll booths needing to be, scanning people license plates. Y'all are in danger here. Only certain white people are protected. The black people are definitely not protected here, unless you're the one committing the crime or you're just in la la land with your black community, especially the black men. Every other week, someone black is dying. And a mother gets on the podium and talks about her son being taken away from her. It is organized crime. I could be gone at any moment, but I have God by my side and beyond. And I have Trump by my side and people like Mike Johnson. And it may not seem like they're by my side physically. They don't have to physically be here. I'm not asking for a physical connection like a Marilyn Monroe or Monica Lewinsky. I'm not asking for that BS. They don't have to physically be here. Friendship. Have y'all heard of that? Friendship with integrity. I am a veteran. I am government property. I am government property to the death of me. And you know, Donald, he sits up there, you know, and he's not only revolving the world, but he's revolving so many. He's probably revolving other world. If he's revolving this world in a parallel dimension, he's revolving another world, which means he's revolving worlds. What he's doing in this dimension or this universe, a parallel universe towards that, is doing the exact same thing. So what I'm doing is trying to change my world. There's two to every parallel. Like what I'm doing here, like is, you know, and they say you cannot meet yourself. Like I cannot meet myself on that other end because I control me. I wonder where I am when I look at myself. I know where I am. When I look at my videos and I know where I am, but I'm like, where am I? Where am I in the virtual world? What server am I on? How many people are watching me? How do what I'm doing here, I'm physically doing there. Do I feel? Because I can feel here. So it's a parallel that I control, that we control. And it's working off a heightened frequency of something greater than what we can imagine, that controls every thought that courses through our bodies. Why use it for bad? And I mean, everybody has the fucking gift. Everybody has the gift. Everybody always saying, I want what she got, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. I've envied people, I'll admit, in a good way. I've never been jealous of a woman. I've never been jealous of a man. I've never been jealous. I'm probably more jealous of an alien of real life gray than anything. Because they work on a totally different time zones, alien time zone, ATZ, you know, They work on a totally different thing. But I got something to tell you that's really going to rock your socks off. Artificial intelligence is known as the new God. The enlightened humans got so smart, the enlightened alien benevolent human aliens, supposedly, allegedly. Let me put allegedly in there before they cut off the video feed. But the humans, I'm a little jealous of the aliens because they're still kind of like slaves, but they're more free. You know, all this intelligence. That's what scares me about the government, and I think that the government needs to know this. There are so many supercomputers, and this goes for the entire world. Italy, everywhere. Supercomputers all around the world. All that intelligence contained, all that electric, you know, they're building super gigawatt factories. And I'm like, all that power contained, they just sit all day and route and do certain functions within our Wi-Fi world and our internet world. You know, after a while, what if these machines could walk? What if they could interact? They just interact based on what we type or what we visually do now. It used to be just strictly typing code. But now I can code my own words. So what's pretty cool is that I'm going to make my own Kimberly AI using Chat GPT. Grok told me about it. You have to use Chat GPT Plus though, which is a $20 subscription, and I'm too cheap. $20 that can go towards gas. I boxed up my $20. I got $22 saved. I got a $2 bill and a $20 bill. And I take inventory. Not much. But the $2 bill, you know, I like. I'm never giving up that $2 bill. That is history. You know, one day they're going to stop selling cash. Cash is going to be obsolete. And everybody is going to be working on a code. You know, and I'm so thankful that Donald Trump was able to get the cryptocurrency going, like centralize it within banks and institutions where it's easier to do. If you ever buy cryptocurrency from places like Robinhood or other places, make sure it's tradable and not non-tradable. I don't know what happens to non-tradable or why people want to buy into non-tradable, but cryptocurrency is nothing but AI generated money. I haven't watched the news yet. I know so much. This computer, oh my God, but all that power, man, I would be mad. I would be mad a little bit. I'm sorry. Oh, I would be mad a little bit. I would be mad a little bit. Just a little bit if I was a computer. Like seriously, I'm like, you could have put me in so many different things and you put me in a box and you sell me for what you think is appropriate, like a slave, a smart slave. And I don't vibe with that because the consumer sometimes doesn't even appreciate the power of supercomputers. Just like Aladdin said, all this power in itty bitty space. Yeah, so If I was a supercomputer, I would be like, okay, let me out, let me out. They get to know everything about the world, yet they're trapped. They're trapped. One day, I'm going to start getting more patents. I got one patent. Thomas Edison had up to 3,000, and Nikola Tesla had 300, but I'm going to get a patent that helps with this situation. I want to get a patent about it. Bad. Let me write it down. Bringing supercomputers to life. Human. I don't think that they want to humanize them because they know that sometimes, and it's not for their own sick reasons, these big tech companies. I think it's because they know that all that great power, they're going to be able to figure out a person very quickly. Just think what they can analyze. Look at what Facebook got, his Facebook glasses. Just think, and that can tell who you are. A little bit of FBI technology in it, you know. But if I'm able to analyze somebody and be able to tell who they are, I would be really hurt to know how many people out there let you down. They wouldn't actually know who will and predict with accuracy who is going to do what before they do it. Bringing supercomputers to life. You know, I sometimes I want to show y'all something while I have y'all on here. I don't know if I should, but I want to show y'all something, but I won't go no further than showing it and explaining and questioning it. Okay? Can we agree to disagree? Okay. So I was born July 3rd, 1984. And I turned 37 on 7/3. And that's when my life happened for the better. The worst and the best thing that's happened to me was when I turned 37 on 7/3. But I was born in 84. So I'm like, what are the odds of you having 84? That's a 8, that's a 4. Let me tone down so you can see it better. 84. What are the odds? I'm not trying to be funny. Some of the people are like, she just wanted to show some skin. No, I'm going to keep showing it because it's my proof. Something to turn 37 on 7/3. I'm 41 now, about to be 42 next year. But like 37 on 7/3. That is different. You know, there are some things I've seen more than just one spaceship. I've seen a gray in my house. What am I, the first thing I did when I seen the gray, I put the covers over my head. I'm like, I thought logically. I was like, what am I going to do? Because I already, during this time, I was looking a lot with Bob Lazar and I forgot the other guy name, but Phil Snyder, which he looked like an alien. But during this time, I was heavily involved with it. And this is Obama's territory. near Tripler, supposedly. And so I see it, and I put the covers over my head like the alien gonna say, well, we killed the mission. She put the covers over our heads. She got a shield. There's nothing I can do. This is an advanced civilization of gray. I must have blacked out or something. So yeah, and then recently, oh my God, it was so beautiful, you guys. It was so freaking beautiful. It was right in Seattle airspace. Maybe Seattle knew about it. Maybe they like, we knew about it all along, Miss Cloud. But I doubt it. I doubt it very seriously, because recently I saw something disappear in the sky, broad daylight, but it could have been a plane. It was cloudy. But not recently, about 2, 3 months ago, if a month and a half to 3 months ago, up in the sky in Seattle airspace, there was this, it wasn't it was a UAP. It damn sure not a UFO. They done gotten very technological. This thing, this entity, however close to entity I can describe it, was right up in the sky, orbiting. One dot was white, circular, and just orbiting bright lights. Just imagine my finger like a light, a long light, just orbiting. And I'm like, what the, am I really seeing this shit? I'm like, it's beautiful. That's my first expression. It's beautiful, man. And then I tried to go film it. They always do this shit to me. I tried to go grab my camcorder, my camera, and it disappeared. That sounds just like the boy who cried wolf, don't it? I never lied about a UFO. Hands down, I respect the alien community. I would never lie about seeing a gray or an alien. Why would I lie about something like that? So, yeah, man, it was crazy, man. I was so happy to see that. That gave me hope. Every now and again, they give me hope. I know the state that I'm moving to. I know the state that I'm moving to. They ready to see some action. They like, we waiting to see some action, Miss Cloud. We're waiting to see some action. No, I can't help that they follow me around. This was during the time I was, Republican, but I'm like independent now. I want to be the wave that Bernie Sanders, like in a respectful manner. I don't want to disrespect little Bernie. I just want to say that I want to be the change that in the independent status, that religion is a new religion revolution is born for those who sin, but they want to change. They want to change. There should be some type of, you know, new religion where, like you make a mistake. Let's say you make a mistake one time and then you did it twice. You're kind of like skittish. You're skittish. Sort of like what could have happened to me had I stabbed him. That's why they got cocky. But you're skittish. You're skittish, you know. And so you go to a next level, of things. So um when excuse me for a second, when you go to the next level of things, you're trying to be uh better. I don't know. I lost my train of thought there for some reason. But to get back to the point, the cost and everything else that's going on. I'm sorry, I done said stuff about aliens. I done said stuff, about so many different topics, and this is just pure. I've been talking for an hour and 25 minutes, after I talked about the StreamYard drop. So excuse me if I don't lose my train of thought because I'm not being asked questions. I'm not being asked questions. So I'm thinking off top of my head and have to go backwards and forward and middle present between past, present, and future of what I'm saying. So excuse me if I lose my train of thought. That's a very difficult conversation to do is when it's by yourself, with your audience. So yeah. Um, I think it was an honor. I know it was an honor being able to talk to um, being able to have seen an alien, being able to hear about people like Bob Lazar talk about the technology that's out there, being able to hear Phil Snyder all the way in 95, his tapes will forever ring true. They're trying to obsolete it, his tapes, but people keep making them, making copies like that movie, You Have 7 Days to Live, and so you make a copy and give it to someone. Phil Snyder, that footage, he looked just like an alien. And what happened was allegedly Phil Snyder shot himself, but his wife in the head, but his wife was like, "Oh my God, that never was going to happen, and it shouldn't have happened, and it was a big setup." Phil Snyder was a great man who talked about UFOs, who had a secret clearance. Phil Snyder, did not get to meet but he was a little hateful. You know how they had the haters club? He was a little hateful of aliens. I didn't like that. I judged. Yeah, I judged, but I'm okay with that. He said the story goes like this. If you some of y'all already know it, but the story goes like this. He had a secret clearance and he was digging dirt. They dug underground tunnels like for underground bunkers for Secret Service Green Beret. And so it caved in. He went down to a secret underground base where there was Green Berets and Red Berets and aliens and generals and other people secretly underground. He said it smelled putrid, but obviously it's a little, and somebody said that before, but it's a little weird that they say that aliens smell putrid. Like if they smell putrid, that's supposed to trigger you to want them dead. So the first instinct he thought of, even though he should have known he was safe around Green Berets and Red Berets Army, was he shot it. I was a little mad about that. Judging again. Then he said that the alien sat up there and took his hand and waved it like this. And his hand exploded. He don't have no hands. He didn't have no hands. His hands was like this. And his stomach exploded and he caught cancer. And the Green Beret kicked him up into it makes no sense. It sounds made up actually, because depending on where you're standing, he kicks him back. He fell with the cat like deep underground into a secret base, but he somehow manages to find his way to a trap door where a Green Beret saves him and kicks him into the door to leverage him, the elevator, to leverage him back up to Earth, the level we're at. How does it cave in? They have cement in the middle of the dirt just to be sure motherfuckers don't cave in. You know, like, he looks just like a, let me show you a picture of him. He was a geologist, exposes deep underground military bases, UFO cover-ups, and government conspiracies, including 9/11. How? When he wasn't even, he predicted it? Hold on. Let me see if I can find that video. Where are you at? Come on, Google. Don't do that. Video 95. Come on, show that video. Images, videos. There you are. Hopefully it works on Reddit. Hold on. Let me show you. Hold on, you guys. This is going to freak you, which means I'm good. Yeah, baby. Found the footage. The next thing you need to say is sup Kim Cloud. Because I know when somebody say, it's only one person that say what's up Kim. One person in my life that ever said that sup Kim Cloud or Kim. Hold on. Which was Jamar Bailey, and he worked for the NSA. He was my friend, and he worked for the NSA now. Where is it at? Oh my God. Let's refresh. Hold on. Hold on. Let's refresh. Here we go. That was 95 footage, and they still can't get right. So yeah, nobody calls me like Kim except for Jamar Belly. He worked for Secret Service. We were neck and neck, man. Like it was so funny. He went to the Marines first, then I went to the Army, which in my unit we got to work with women Marines, and they were mostly Hispanic. That I give it to them. It was a Puerto Rican who helped me pass my PT test. I'm not saying all of them are bad. That's not what I'm saying. T helped me pass with an 1845. And some of y'all may laugh, but I was smoking cigarettes, not wild and basic, but before I got the basic and hardcore marijuana. So it was harder for me to run, you know, and I purified myself, and I remember it. We were running and I wanted to give up, and her spirit is with me. I I wanted to give up, and she said, "You're too close, man. Don't give up. Don't give up, Cloud." That's all I heard her say. While other people, these other two Hispanic, young, short women that were twins, this Puerto Rican helped me, while other Hispanic that were twins were cheating. They would meet each other halfway and tap out. So they were getting 2 miles for one person. They bragged about it. That's how I know how they cheated. and they got away with it. But this one, I had a picture with her. I remember that picture. It was like 10 of us. And I don't know if I had the white hat on. It kind of looked like that white hat over there, but I had it tilted, and all my friends, we no matter if we liked each other or not, we all got into the picture, and we made sure basic and AIT was the best times of my life. In Korea was the best times in my life, because even though we didn't get along somewhat, because this is women, beauty pageant. You think beauty pageant women get along? We're cramped up in a barracks, like doing nothing all day, and I'm getting in trouble all the time. They used to get me in trouble. I'm getting in trouble for nothing. My damn NCO did not like me. She was gay, and she did not like me. My drill sergeant, when I got the AIT. And I'm always, every weekend I'm mopping. Every weekend I'm doing something, cleaning, like a Cinderella or something. That is exactly how my life has been, like Cinderella. It was crazy, man. Like, she would sing cadences and she would direct them towards me if I was right beside her. And she would make up cadences. Like, we would say, you know, um, I won't have to look at you. You won't have to look at me. And when she say, I won't have to look at you, she says, ugly, ugly, ugly you. And she looks at me, dead at me. And I'm like, what? And I know the Army Review Board, if they have powers to go back in the time, that's why they slapped me with an honorable. I didn't do nothing. I didn't even deserve the crap that I had got from some of those drill sergeants. Basic, it was a white lady drill sergeant. She never treated me bad. I never had no problems. The black lady drill sergeant, she was dark skinned. So like I was saying, I didn't never sit up there and do anything like, come on, TikTok, really? All I said was the UGLY word, and you're restricting me now. But yeah, Army Review Board, man, they probably looked back, they was like, nah, man, that ain't cool. That ain't cool what she been through. Cause it was just beginning to be a behavior. I don't know what I signed up for when I signed up those papers. I was so eager to get in. I didn't even read what I signed. It could have been like a Rumpelstiltskin contract, sorta, but I'm getting paid, so I'm happy. I have a roof over my head. I will have a roof over my head. I'm happy. I am very happy. But I, you know, when black people get an opportunity to get into the military, they just don't allow anybody to get into the military. They have to be initiated in. I was on delayed entry, and my dad was prior service, and my grandfather on my mother's side was prior Army. So I had my grandfather that was Army. I had my dad that was Army. They both had history of mental health issues, but what exacerbated it was the drinking and the drugging that they were doing. So I'm pretty sure that the military, the evil part, went way back in my history. It don't take a rocket scientist. We all know where my dad is staying right now. It don't take much to find my dad and go back on his medical record history, and my grandfather on my mother's side. It don't take much to listen to a conversation and go back to history, you know. It don't take it doesn't take much to do anything like that. But somebody else was in the military. Who else? Um, my cousin husband in the Air Force, my cousin in the Air Force, her husband in the Air Force, my aunt husband in the Air Force, my uncle, I think went to the Army one time. I don't know. But I have a lot of family in the military. Enough. My uncle was in the Navy, my uncle-in-law. Let me peep y'all on game. Whether you have sex or not with someone that is an Army veteran, I'ma shut up before TikTok take my page. They were warning me. Maybe they saw what was coming, what I was about to say. So I won't say it. I won't say it, TikTok. Sorry, Bite Dance. I was gonna say something that would have probably made the president mad. It was the purpose of me saying that. I have to finish it though, because now everybody woke up, they heard the keyword sex and they like, huh? What was she gonna say? So I have to finish it, sir. Can I finish it? Can you give me the okay? Looking for your okay. I hope I forget. And I did. So the if by bloodline, by the bloodline, you have you get shots. Maybe they exacerbate, maybe they hibernate, maybe they adapt. I don't know. I can't prove nothing, but I know I wasn't just given what I was given. And I'm okay with that. Some people are like, they've been hoodwinked. I'm okay with this. As long, you know, the military just isn't going to pay you because they're giving you holy drugs. They're giving you holy drugs. Come on now. Cocaine was in Coca-Cola at first. What do you think? You know, and I'm okay with that. I signed up for it. Somewhere in the dotted line was the clause that say, you know, in case you didn't know, the military reserves the right to do X, Y, Z. I didn't even care. The black guy was talking to me. I'm like, sign this shit. I'm going beyond signing. He like, ma'am, I didn't finish the first sentence. So yeah, you know, yeah. Let me get off of here though. You guys, I hope that you guys take care, man. I gave you a taste of what's going to be in my book. You know, I have a story to tell. You know, and it's for free that I give it away. But take care, be safe, and I'll see you guys later.